Okay, so I want to break this down, Archbishop. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to make sure that you're answering the question that I'm asking. I'm asking personally as the Archbishop, did you ever make any report of suspected sexual abuse between 77 and 2002 to civil authorities?
Yeah, I can't recall ever doing so personally.
Did you ever direct that any official under your control actually turn the information that you had received or that the Archdiocese had received concerning sexual abuse over to the civil authorities so they could investigate it?
That happened later.
When was the first time that happened, Archbishop?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, but it was probably in the 90s.
So is it your testimony that you and Archbishop Dolan have really never discussed the issue of sexual abuse by priests of the Archdiocese and what you knew and when you knew it with him?
We've never had any kind of discussion about that.
Okay, fair enough. And when you learned that he was a convicted and accused child molester in active ministry in your diocese, did you ask your predecessor or any other official in the Archdiocese, how many other priests do we have in ministry in the Archdiocese who are offenders or who are suspected of having abused children and we know about it?
I don't remember ever asking that question as you formulated it.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 103B. This would be a judgment of conviction and a sentence withheld where probation is ordered. And this is the official court record reflecting his finding, and it's Judge Warren A. Grady at the lower left, you'll see. And the district attorney is James M. LaPointe, at least as reflected by this document. Is this the judge and the DA that you were faulting for having allowed Wadera to continue in ministry where he abused youth?
If he was the acting judge of the case, yes.
But 107 is a response from Father Tyson to Mrs. Flood, dated February 19th, 74. And you'll see in the second paragraph, second sentence, he says, and this is Tyson now as Executive Secretary of the Personnel Board, "We are happy to hear that he is doing well in school and shows so much interest in children." When you see this, Archbishop, would you agree that Father Tyson, the Archdiocesan Personnel Board, had an obligation to Mrs. Flood to tell her that Wadera was a convicted child molester?
I don't know if it was necessary to tell Mrs. what was her name, Flood?
Yeah.
But I certainly do think that somebody, probably the probation officer, should have been alerted to this.
In all of these cases where priests offended children and they were sent for treatment on your watch, you allowed each of these priests to continue in ministry in some capacity, did you not?
Yes.
Before 1992, is it fair to say then, Archbishop, that the practice was to put the priests in ministry, back in ministry, either a parish or a chaplaincy, and not tell the laity? That you knew that he was an offender?
I would say that was the practice.